All right, welcome in. I'm Chase Senior, host of Philadelphia 76ers Now. That is Will Scott, host of Boston Celtics Today, collaborating on today's video, going on both channels because the NBA season tipping off tonight in one of the greatest rivalries in the NBA as the Sixers go up to Boston, TD Garden, against the defending Eastern Conference champions to begin the 2022-2023 regular season. Will, I can't believe it's already here. You and I both cover the NFL, and the NBA season kind of sneaks up on us with the Major League Baseball playoffs here, NFL and college football as well. But I'm pumped up to talk some hoops.
It's a great time to be a sports fan, Senior, especially for you being in Philly. A lot to talk about with Philly sports. But, yeah, you're right. We've been waiting a long time for the NBA season, especially Celtics fans. After losing in the NBA Finals to Golden State, they've been looking forward to tonight for quite some time.
No doubt. We're going to preview this game further coming up right around the corner. First, though, some news that we do want to hit on to start today's show, and both similar circumstances for two players, one on each team, but also similar circumstances as well, because Matisse Thybulle, Grant Williams, they will head after this year to restricted free agency after not reaching extensions with their respective teams. And we begin with Matisse Thybulle here. If he's able to develop a three-point shot, we've talked about this here on 76ers Now, he could become a very valuable weapon in the NBA because he's one of the best and most premier defensive wing players in the National Basketball Association. Defensive wizardry that he's displayed against guys like Steph Curry. He's been in the league 3 years since being that first-round pick out of Washington. He's made it to an all-defensive NBA team twice, but played off the floor in the playoffs because he can't knock down that three-point shot. You look at the numbers there, 31.3%, and I think that's why the Sixers aren't giving him that extension right now to give him that rookie deal and extension because they want to see that he can make the necessary improvements. And if he does, then he could probably get the bag from a different team or Philadelphia. They just want to see it take place because right now he's a one-dimensional player. Those are my thoughts on Matisse Thybulle. How about for you with Grant Williams? Because Game 7 against the Milwaukee Bucks in that second-round series, he went off. He's displayed a lot of talent, Will, developed that three-point shot, good all-around player. Why do you think they didn't give him that contract extension, though?
Well, he wanted $14 to $16 million per year, apparently, and the Celtics were not willing to reach that number. They're kind of thinking long-term here with Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum. Brown's a free agent in 2024. He might get extended next year. Jayson Tatum in 2025. He might get extended in the next 1 to 2 off seasons. So I think they want to kind of reevaluate where they're at next off season with Williams. He had a productive year last season. He's gotten better each and every single year. And when I'm looking at Williams, I'm looking at a long-term piece of this team. Al Horford is probably going to be his last year in Boston. I can definitely see Williams being the long-term answer at the 4 for Boston, and hopefully Robert Williams, we'll talk about him later on, if he gets healthy, have Williams start at the 4 and Williams the 3rd start at the 5. I think that's what the Celtics are looking to do long-term. Grant Williams, I think, wants to be in Boston. Unfortunately, they could not get the deal done before the rookie scale extension deadline, but he's going to enter restricted free agency next year, much like Thybulle. I don't think the Celtics will let him get away if he has a productive year this season.
Yeah, so no doubt a big year coming up in terms of these respective and individual players getting the bag, and Matisse Thybulle as well as Grant Williams. We'll preview this game coming up here in just a few moments. First, though, do want to hear from you in the comment section here on Boston Celtics Today and Philadelphia 76ers Now. Who do you think is the better player among these two guys? I want you to give us a W for Grant Williams or a T for Matisse Thybulle. Let us know. Join that conversation. And as you venture down there, make sure you subscribe to both of these channels, 76ers Now, Boston Celtics Today, very closely tied in terms of the sub count. Just hit that red subscribe button down below. With the NBA season officially here, we're really going to be ramping up our coverage on 76ers Now and Boston Celtics Today. So the season tipping off tonight, primetime audience, and a lot of Philadelphians going to be watching the Philadelphia Phillies and the NLCS against the San Diego Padres. I'm going to go dual screen here, 76ers, Celtics, Phillies, Padres as well. The Celtics, the home favorites here at -3, the over-under set at 216. If you want to bet on this game, make sure you do so with the best sports book in the game. It is BetUS, offering a 125% deposit bonus. All you have to do is utilize that link at the bottom of your screen. It's chatsports.com/BetUS. celticsradio.com/bet. Promo code chat125 for that 125% deposit bonus. Let's say you put in $100, you get an additional $125 back. Well, two teams with playoff aspirations, obviously. Two teams looking to chase an NBA championship. The Celtics close to that last year as they were in the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors in a series that spanned 6 games, and a little bit of drama going into the season for Boston, given that situation with Ime Udoka. Do you think that affects them all that much going into the early portion of this year or not? Because either way, whether you have Udoka or not, my gosh, these rosters are loaded.
Right, we're going to find that out pretty quick. And I have been impressed with Joe Mazzulla, what he's done with the team thus far. Granted, he has yet to coach in a regular season game. We'll see that tonight. But in the preseason, he had the team locked in. The offense looked explosive. The defense, even without Robert Williams III, looked pretty good as well. So I have a lot of confidence in Joe Mazzulla. The players have a lot of confidence in Joe Mazzulla. And I think this year is kind of a trial run for Mazzulla. If he does a good job as the interim coach, he'll probably get promoted to the full-time guy. If he doesn't, then you have the option of maybe bringing Ime Udoka back after this season. But I do not think that the Ime Udoka suspension is going to have as big of an impact on the C's as most people think.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a Celtics team that is so deep. They have 2 superstars in Jaylen Brown as well as Jayson Tatum at that wing spot. And we do have some injury news on Robert Williams that we're going to hit here in just a second. First, though, who you got? Of course, Will Scott is going to type his BOS for the Boston Celtics.
Man, 100%.
I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they begin this season with a statement victory with a lineup that's a lot different than it was last year as they got ousted in the second round against the Miami Heat. Get those predictions in for night 1 of the NBA season. Will, what is this new Robert Williams update here?
Yeah, we've obviously heard a lot about Robert Williams in recent weeks with the surgery, it went from a 4 to 6 week timeline to 8 to 12 weeks. We just heard from Shams Charania this morning, who went on FanDuel TV and said, Celtics big man Robert Williams recently underwent a PRP procedure in his knee and could return in the second half of the season. He added he's going to return at some point during the second half of the season. I'm told his hope is sometime in December or January, but it could be even later than that. After Shams went on FanDuel TV and said that, we heard from Keith Smith. We heard from some other NBA writers that the timeline has not changed. But you have to be a little bit concerned here about Robert Williams' health if you're a Celtics fan, because we saw him undergo 2 surgeries in 6 months. He was not 100% in the playoffs, sat out a few playoff games. So if you're the Celtics right now, I think you have to be precautionary, let him get back to 100%. But obviously a big loss. You're not going to have him the first couple months of the season, maybe.
Yeah, those platelet-rich plasma injections made very famous back kind of in the early 2000s-ish with Kobe Bryant went over to Germany and got that procedure to really just help that knee stabilize but also recover fast. And look, for Robert Williams, let's be real here. In the modern NBA, in which bigs have been kind of extinct like dinosaurs and played off the floor, he's one of those modern-day bigs who can't shoot but still has a lot of value with the rim-running ability, rim protection ability, shot blocking. I thought he was absolutely terrific against the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. So a big loss for Boston, which what appears to be is going to be out for about the first half of the season. And then, Will, as we continue to really move forward here, what a rivalry we always have between Boston and Philadelphia. And for the Sixers, kind of a new lineup here and a new team that they're going to have here. James Harden lost a little bit of weight. Hopefully he's able to gain a little bit of that half step back. He's going to be playing point guard. Tyrese Maxey at the 2. Tobias Harris at the 3, Matisse Thybulle at the 4, and then Joel Embiid at the 5 maybe, but maybe they could experiment with P.J. Tucker playing at that 4 spot. I'm interested to see how Doc Rivers mixes and matches the lineup moving forward as the Sixers progress here. But either way, with the acquisition of DeAnthony Melton, I think the team is a lot deeper than it was last year, and in turn, I think they're improved. Do you think the Celtics are an improved team from last year when they made that run to the NBA Finals?
I do. I think they got better as a basketball team. They traded for Malcolm Brogdon. That was huge. He's going to be coming off the bench tonight for the Celtics. And the Celtics have some different options here with the lineup. In the preseason finale, Joe Mazzulla said that kind of the rotations are going to be like we're going to see in the regular season. He didn't start Grant Williams, which I was a little bit surprised about. Instead, he started Derek White, kind of went with a small ball lineup. I expect to see that again tonight. how is that going to play a role in going up against, P.J. Tucker and Joel Embiid? We'll see how that goes. But I think the pressure, Chase, is on both of these teams coming into this season. Last season, the Celtics lost in 6 games in the NBA Finals. I think it's NBA Finals or bust for the C's this year. The Sixers, they have yet to make the Eastern Conference Finals, right, with this current core. They have James Harden. They have Embiid back. They improved as a basketball team in the offseason. A lot of pressure on Doc Rivers. So I think both of these teams are kind of thinking NBA Finals or bust going into this season. We're going to learn a lot about these two teams tonight in the season opener.
And I agree. Look, this is an Eastern Conference that is as deep as it's been kind of in our lifetime, I feel like. I mean, the depth of talent is really good. The depth of quality teams with the Cleveland Cavaliers trading for Donovan Mitchell. Are the Miami Heat going to be in the mix again? You have the Milwaukee Bucks. You have the Brooklyn Nets now that Kyrie and KD are back with Ben Simmons.
I'm not sold on the Nets.
76ers as well as the Boston Celtics. The point here being, whether you're sold on the teams or not, I mean, it's going to be a fascinating outlook in the East this year. And these types of matchups to start the year, we're going to look back at these types of games at the end of this season and say, look, these teams very closely tied in the Eastern Conference standings. That's why these games are critical. And, of course, it's going to be a hostile environment at TD Garden. So with that, let's ask you this. Predict the score. Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, the NBA season is here. We want to hear from you. As always, we greatly appreciate your support on Celtics Today and 76ers Now. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.